This is the BBN, and today we're going to be discussing parenting tips. I'm just going to go right into it. There was a young mother. I'm assuming she was a young mother when the picture got up close on her. She looked like a young mother. She could be probably in her early 30s. She got wind one way or another. I think she said through a friend, because she later in the video's in the description, by the way. Later in the video, she makes a comment about how she has friends too, and the daughter put something up on Facebook that allowed for a lot of people to look into the unruliness of the child. I guess she was walking around and the daughter's 16 years old, by the way. She's walking around in towels, taking pictures of herself, and she did something with some boy, and then there's something about discharge. So there's stuff going on here. Anyway, so I'm thinking about, it's so hard to parent nowadays because you got the government so much in your business, and you also have these terrible parents. So first, I'm just gonna go and attack one thing, because I want everybody to understand that I do not think that people should have the right to just parent their children any old way that they want. You have people out here that do not have the capacity or the patience to be able to deal with children. You got parents out here that just beat their children for every reason in the world. You have, the child grows up with no understanding of right and wrong. When you beat a child senselessly all the time, the child grows up with absolutely no understanding of right and wrong. And you got other people out here that they have children that they're not even feeding. The child is starving. This is America. Like, it's retarded for anyone to be starving in America. Starving? Like, that comes straight from not caring. Anyway, so while I was busy getting ready to put the video together, or at least getting my thoughts together for what I wanted to say on the video in particular, I started thinking about the pros and the cons either way. And one of the things that came to me was the Steinberg trial. For those that don't know about the Steinberg trial, it basically was a lawyer and I think his live-in wife, and they had two children. One of them was illegally adopted. Her name was Lisa Steinberg, and she was found brain dead from her injuries. It was an illegal adoption, and the guy that adopted Joel Steinberg was actually a lawyer. And he's the one that was accused of beating her to death and showing depraved indifference to her suffering. Now, see, this is the point in which I was trying to make. Starving a child, that's depraved indifference. Beating a child senselessly for no reason, that's depraved indifference. Okay, this is what they say that you're supposed to do when you discipline your child. You let your child know why they're going to be disciplined. You discipline them. And then you basically have a discussion with them and explain to them why they were wrong and why you had to do what you did and why it's important for them to not do this thing again. Y'all supposed to have a discussion after the punishment. It's not supposed to be, you did something wrong, I'm going to beat on you, and then I'm just going to leave you to your own after I get tired and after I've personally been relieved. Because, a lot of these parents out here, they're not just are they terrible parents, but them beating their child is a relief for them. They go out in the world, they have a hard day. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people can't wait to get home and find something that their children have done wrong in order for them to beat them over. This is child abuse. I am in no way an advocate of child abuse. Child abuse is absolutely wrong. I am in no way an advocate of it. So now, after the Joel Steinberg situation, the Steinberg trial, which actually was on free TV, y'all. I believe it was on Channel 2 here in New York. So OJ was not the first. This was a really, really big case. They found that this child was molested. They found that this child was just abused in all types of different, just horrible ways. And there's about 2 or 3 more cases after this one that was in New York City that really changed the way in which they allow for people to be able to parent their children. But this was the precursor to everything. This is the first case that actually turned up everyone's noses and make people realize that we have people out here that are just abusing their children and then sending their children out into the world. Because this little girl, I'm very, very sad to say she passed away. Lisa Steinberg, she passed away. Very sad to say that happened. But there's a lot of people that are abusing their children, and then their children are not, dying. And then they're sending them out into the world to co-mingle and cohabitate with normal people. These children ain't normal. How could a child be normal if you beating the child 4 to 5 times out the week? 3 to 4 times out the week. 2 to 3 times out the week. I'm not talking about a little slap on the butt. I'm not talking about a slap on the head. I'm talking about all out hitting your child like your child is another adult. How can you expect your child to grow into a freaking proper human being? But that's what's going on out here. There's millions of them out here. They're everywhere. There's lots of people who are just terrible parents and, in my opinion, really don't care about their child. That's my opinion. I can't see somebody beating their 5-year-old child or their 6-year-old child or their 7-year-old child like their child is an adult as somebody that can possibly care about that child. I mean, that you could say whatever you want, but that's not a possibility. And then especially, this is just a note to say out there to all of y'all that like spanking y'all young boys, y'all young sons on the butt and all that, because the butt, it don't make... The prostate is located in that area. So when you're beating your child on the butt, the prostate is located down there. There's a good chance that child is going to grow up and then have some kind of like problems with their prostate. And if you have problems with your prostate, that means that you got problems with your Johnson. So there's a whole bunch of different issues that could arise from there. People need to stop beating their children like their children is human beings. That it ain't cool. It's not nothing. And then their child grow up and their child is dysfunctional. And the first thing that they want to say is, it wasn't their fault. I tried my best. You didn't try your best. You just beat the crap out of your child. That's not trying your best. Trying your best would be trying to understand what's going on in your child's brain. Trying your best would be trying to deter your child from doing harm, but also at the same time trying to encourage them to do good. That's trying your best. So anyway, let's get back to the video. So when I first looked at the video, the first thing I was thinking is somebody is going to turn this lady in. You know what? Nobody should be turning this lady in. Lady did what was right. The lady wasn't hitting her child maliciously. People forget, you don't have to hit your child hard for your child to cry. You don't. The child is not crying because of the pain that the child feels, physical pain that the child feels. The child is crying because of the mental duress that the child is being stricken by their caretaker. That's why the child is crying. So these people out here that think, I gotta beat my kid harder, it's like you're wrong. It's just you're just abusing your child for no reason whatsoever. You have no idea. That's another reason why we need 2-parent households, and not just 2-parent households, but 2-parent households of people of individuals who are strong-minded individuals. Because if one parent just allows the other parent to abuse the children, then you might as well have a single-parent household. You might as well have a no-parent household. That would be better. It'd be better to leave your child to his own designs than to raise him in a habitat in which where anything that he say or do could earn him an ass whooping. Or she. That just doesn't even make sense. Anything that they do, they can earn them an ass whooping, and that's how you're raising them. They're going to go out into the world, and they're not going to have a proper understanding of good and evil. They're not going to have a proper understanding of good and bad. They're not going to have a proper understanding of fairness. Because what we teach our children is what they bring into the world, and we need to start teaching our children to become adults, not to become savages. So in the video, the lady is talking to her daughter, and she's popping her good too. You can tell she probably got hands on her. So she popping her daughter here and there, but you can tell she's not hitting her daughter to hurt her. She's not trying to cause injury to her daughter. There was a man in Maryland who his son acted up in school. He took him home, made him put on the boxing gloves, boxed him up, put it on wherever the hell he put it at, and then he had his son taken away from him, and he was imprisoned. This is not that. I don't think that should have been done either. I think that you take the child and you just don't wail on the child, like I said earlier, like giving the child an opportunity to fight back. What is that? What could a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old kid that has a do against a man that's in his 20s or 30s that has any kind of training. He can't do anything. It's not really a fight. You're saying he's throwing punches. I'm letting him throw punches back. But now if you put him in that same exact environment and you're saying, okay, you've been effing up and I need to teach you a lesson, but first I have to make sure that you have the proper skills to take care of yourself, and then you're putting the kid through training and then boxing him up at the same time, that's a little bit more believable for me. The Steinberg trial was a precursor to what we know nowadays, when you can't even really look at your child the wrong way in some states, and then your child will be taken away from you. It's crazy. They just taking the parenting absolutely out of our hands. I mean, there's a couple of different reasons why I think that this is done, but this is definitely the precursor, because you got people out here killing their children and they abusing their children. And then on top of this was an illegal adoption. So this was a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just that these people were bad parents. It's not just that this guy was a lawyer and knew how to get around the law, but he was a bad parent who was a lawyer who knew how to get around the law that was illegally adopting children that he would then molest. At least that was the assumption, because they also said that she was molested. So due to that is why they started having a lot of different laws change in New York City in particular, and I'm thinking that it also extrapolated out to the rest of the states, because after that you had children all through the 90s. You was just finding, every year or two there'd be I remember there was like one year they found like 3 kids dead. One was like chained up in like a dog cage, and they was forcing the little girl to eat like dog shit and chew from feces, and they had the stuff in the refrigerator for her whenever she got. It was just crazy. It's just crazy. So this parent finds out that her daughter is on Facebook, and she's posting things that's inappropriate for a 16-year-old to post. And not only inappropriate for a 16-year-old to post, some of y'all women out there need to keep y'all clothes on a little bit more. I understand you feel good about your body. You want people to see your body. You want people to see you as being confident. That's what a lot of this nakedness stuff is about. How confident you are. No, some of y'all are just exhibitionists. You're not confident. There's a difference, okay? Confidence is doing something without regard of what others are thinking, as far as how this would be appropriated in the mental makeup. And just being an exhibitionist is you want people to see you doing whatever it is that you're doing, and by them seeing you, it gives whatever you're doing more value to you. So you got more people out here that's exhibitionist and confident. But I understand that a lot of this is coming from, I have the confidence to do this and I have the confidence to do that. No, some of y'all just exhibitionists. And this lady took care of this. The link is in the description. This lady took care of her child the way she was supposed to. Gave her a little smackdown. She put it on social media. I'm not really about the shaming, but in this particular case, shaming was appropriate. It's not like the little girl did something nobody knew about and then the shaming publicized it. This was a situation where the little girl did some shit, put it on the internet. The mother said, you know what? You want to make me look like a bad parent? That's not what is actually going on in his house. You're obviously getting it from somewhere else. So she wanted to discipline her on the camera, then put it on social media, Facebook, to show, look, this is not how I'm raising my daughter. However, that she's getting wherever she's getting it from, it isn't from here. Anyway, so in the comments, and where I initially saw this, in the comments, I heard somebody say, somebody commented something about how she look how she's dressed, like she's a thought or something like that. And I'm busy thinking to myself, I'm like, at home, how do people dress? I know when I'm at home, I walk around in shorts and no shirt. So I would assume that when females are home and alone, or home and it's just, them and their kids or whatever, they're walking around in, freaking their underwear also. So no, whoever said whatever they said about whatever they said, no, the mother was not inappropriately dressed to be in her damn house. She had on boy shorts, and I think she had like on a sports bra or something like that. She was ready to get it on. That girl would have turned. I'm telling you right now, it's a good thing that 16-year-old girl knew better, because she was about to really get them hands. Anyway, link is in the description, and this is just something we got to do better at parenting, y'all. We have to do much better at parenting. I'm gonna have an extended cut of this, by the way. If this isn't the extended cut, I'm going to have an extended cut. This might be the extended cut because both parts is going to have this part in it. It's just the middle is going to be. So this might be the extended cut. This is how I'm going to start doing my videos in the future. I'm going to have the short ones, and then I'm going to have the extended cut where I could actually explain more about what I'm talking about and how I feel about whatever the situation is. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.